Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have a fun and fruity summery cake for you guys, and I'll be making my raspberry peach cake made with raspberry vanilla cake layers, which are soaked with a raspberry peach liqueur. And we're going to fill the inside with fresh diced peaches and frost the cake with my raspberry whipped cream frosting. And this cake just screams summer with every single bite. It is so fun and fruity and delicious. You guys are going to love how well peaches and raspberries combine together, and this cake is just perfect for any summer occasion. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this incredible dessert. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to get things started with the wet ingredients first. So into a large mixing bowl, I'm going to pour in 1 cup of buttermilk, and this buttermilk is going to help make the cake extra moist and delicious. Pour that right in. Next, I'll add 3/4 cups of light cooking oil, and today I'm using canola oil, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 teaspoons of peach extract. I'm going to leave the product link down in the video description box below. 1 cup of white granulated sugar. And we'll need 4 large eggs for today's recipe. Add in the eggs. And then I'll grab my hand mixer and mix this all together for a couple minutes until the eggs are well beaten. For my dry ingredients, I'll be using 2 cups of all-purpose flour, plus 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix that all together. I'm going to grab a fine mesh sifter and sift my dry ingredients into the cake batter. And you want to do this so you don't end up with any clumps of flour or baking soda in your cake. And I'll grab my handy hand mixer and mix this for about a minute, just until the dry ingredients are incorporated. You don't want to overmix at this step in the recipe. I'll be using 3 8-inch cake pans today, and I've lined the bottoms with parchment paper. I also sprayed down the sides with some baking spray. I'm going to divide this cake batter evenly between the 3 pans. And now let's add some raspberries. I'm going to grab whole raspberries and press them gently into the cake batter. And these raspberry cake layers are ready to hit the oven. They're going to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 24 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Once they're done baking, I'm going to take them out of the pans onto a wire rack to cool completely. Meanwhile, it's the perfect time to make a batch of my raspberry whipped cream frosting. You could also make a batch of my raspberry buttercream frosting if you'd prefer a buttercream cake. I'm going to have a link for both those down the video description box below, along with all the ingredients you need for this cake. And while I'm waiting for my cake layers to cool, I'm going to prepare my peach filling, because I like the peaches to stand for a little bit. So I diced 3 peaches, it's about 3 cups, and I'm going to pour over 1/4 cup of peach liqueur. And I just want that to stand and kind of soak into the peaches. I also like to add in a couple tablespoons of raspberry liqueur. You want to just toss the peaches with the liqueur and just let this stand, tossing it every about 15 to 20 minutes until you're ready to assemble the cake. And this is my batch of my raspberry whipped cream frosting. It's super creamy, and I've let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. If you find that it's too runny, just pop it into the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour, and it should thicken up nicely. My cake layers have cooled completely, and now it's time for the fun part. Let's assemble this cake. So before I start putting it together, I'm going to grab a long serrated knife, and we're going to level off the top just a little bit so we have a nice and even cake when we start putting it together. And before I use the peaches for filling the cake, I'm actually going to drain off all of that peach and raspberry liqueur into a separate bowl, and we're going to use that for soaking the cake layers with. And I'm going to use a pastry brush and very lightly soak the cake layers with this liqueur mixture. Just going to add even more incredible peach and raspberry flavor to the cake. And I've transferred some of my frosting into a pastry bag. It's tipped with a simple round tip. And before I add my peaches, I'm going to go around the edge of the cake, pipe a little barrier ring, and this should keep our peaches on the inside. I'll grab our peaches. You don't want to overfill the cake with these, just add them single layer right over the cake layer. And because you're adding that peach filling on the inside, I'm going to frost my cake layers on the inside a little bit differently than I usually do. I'm going to frost them on the wire rack, and then we'll just invert on top of the cake. And that way we don't have to disrupt the peaches on the inside. And I'll take my cake layer and very gently invert it right on top, just like that. And now we can continue with the next layer. And now I'm ready to frost the top and sides of my cake with my crumb coat layer of frosting. And this layer will just seal in all the crumbs and the sides. I'm going to place this crumb coated cake into the refrigerator. Just let it chill there for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll come back to add our final layer of frosting. I let my cake sit in the refrigerator to chill for about 30 minutes, and then I transferred it onto a pretty cake stand. And now we're going to garnish the top. I'm just going to make it really simple with raspberries and slices of peaches. I'm also going to drop some flowers on here just to make this cake extra special for summertime. And now let's cut into this cake to see what it looks like on the inside. I love how the top turned out with the peaches and the raspberries. I can't wait to see all those peaches on the inside. Check this out. Isn't that stunning? I am loving all those diced peaches on the inside, along with the raspberry whipped cream. And then you have the little raspberries in the cake batter too. This is going to taste incredible. And that's it for my raspberry peach cake. This is going to be the ultimate summer treat with these sliced peaches and the raspberries on top. It looks so elegant. For the list of the ingredients and for the recipe link, make sure to head on down the video description box. I'll have everything down there for you. Meanwhile, let's dig in to enjoy. Now I do have a little bit of peaches left over, and these are perfect for serving on the side. So just drop an extra spoonful with each slice. This looks so pretty. Oh, and this frosting, it's so creamy. It's almost like a cream cheese frosting, but it has mascarpone and white chocolate in there. It looks so good. This cake is incredible. I am loving all the flavor combinations here. When you bite into it, you have a little bit of crunch from the sweet peaches, and then you have that creamy raspberry whipped cream frosting combined with a raspberry cake, and you are in cake heaven. This tastes so incredibly delicious. Going to grab some more of that filling. Oh, look at this bite. It is so good. This summery peach cake is definitely going on my list of top summer cakes for any special occasion. It is so incredibly fruity and delicious. With every mouthful, you have the peaches, the raspberries, that fluffy, delicate frosting, and the delicate cake layers. It is just phenomenal. I love adding that peach and raspberry liqueur on the inside as well. It just adds another flavor dimension. If you don't want to make this cake with alcohol, you can of course just omit the liqueur and use a simple syrup instead to soak the cake layers. And you could also try this cake with my raspberry buttercream frosting if you want a more sturdy frosting to try with this cake. I'll leave that link down in the video description box as well. You guys are going to love this cake. For any special occasion this summer, this is it. Thank you so much for watching my recipe, and I'll see you next time with a new video.